Is gardening really worth your while? Hi, I'm Bernice Hunt, and I am a brain health specialist. I work with women just like you who are starting to notice a few memory challenges, and I help you to stay sharp so that as you age, you can still travel, have fun with your grandkids, and experience new adventures without missing a beat. As a wellness coach for over 12 years, I know the power of incentives. And honestly speaking, gardening has really never been my thing. At least it wasn't in the past. But when I started learning about all the brain benefits, I knew I needed to get started. So that's where I am now. Now, I did a video a few days ago. Did you catch it? I hope you did. It was talking about how my tower garden gave me a green thumb. So if you didn't catch it, it's still on my YouTube channel. It's also in my Facebook page, keepyourbrainsharp.com. You can, well, that's my website. Facebook page is just Keep Your Brain Sharp. Okay. And you can find it there. But tonight I wanted to talk specifically about the benefits, the health benefits that you can get from gardening. Now, we all know about the nutrition part, and that's definitely a plus, but there's a lot of other health benefits you may not have thought about. Did you know that most people that are over 100 have some type of garden? They do some type of gardening. And the research talks about the connection that there is between gardening and better health and longevity. And so that's what we need to keep in mind as well when we talk about why we want to garden. Okay, so let's talk about some of the things. One is depression. Now, you know yourself, if you've ever messed with plants or gardens or whatever, you know the calming effect that comes out of you. Research even shows how gardening can decrease depression. They did a study with the NASA astronauts, and they gave them indoor gardens that had LED lights while they were up in space, specifically to keep their spirits lifted up. Because they were, looking out all at the dark, immense of dark space and stuff, and it can be depressing. And so they had them gardening in space. Yeah, to fight against the depression. It also lowers your risk of dementia, because gardening and any other kind of physical activity, and gardening is one of them, what it does is it helps you with your hippocampus in your memory center. Okay. It's going to help those cells that stop degenerating and dying. Any kind of physical activity you want to do is going to actually, it grows or expands your brain volume in that area, and it strengthens that area for you. So if you want better memory, gardening is one of the things that you probably should be doing. So we're talking depression, we're talking dementia. It also promotes discovery, and that also is good for your brain. It's one of the things that you should always be doing. They talk about being a lifelong learner. Some of that learning doesn't have to be sitting in the classroom doing calculus or statistics or something like that. It's discovery learning, having those wow, ooh moments in your life. And a lot of that can come from gardening as you're out in nature, discovering things. I remember I was walking down the street one day. I probably told you the story. But anyway, I was walking down the street and in my neighborhood, and there's some palm trees there, right? And I looked at the palm trees as I'm walking, and I noticed this spiked one the spiked part sticking straight up in the air. And I looked around across the street at the other ones, and there were spiked ones sticking straight up. And I realized that they actually were the leaves before the leaves opened up. They were, wrapped real tight, just like a spike. And they were the leaves from the palm trees. And I could visualize them opening up and flipping over. It was an aha moment for me. It was a discovery moment. I could just feel my connections being made with my new brain cells, that they're maturing and developing and taking over the old ones. I could feel that actually happening in my head. I was just in awe. I was like, wow, I had never noticed that. I was out in nature and I did, and it was a big moment for me. Guys, don't judge me, but it was a big moment for me. And that's what I'm talking about. Discovery moments when you're outside is very, 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 very good for your brain. Okay. Also, we want to talk about eating more vegetables. When you're gardening, they found that you naturally tend to eat more vegetables. And that's good for you because we're talking about helping to maintain or manage your weight. We're also talking about your body mass. They say that gardeners have a lower body mass than non-gardeners. Okay. And so when your body mass is high, that means you're having those increased risk factors to your heart and other things, diabetes and things like that. So you don't want a high body mass, and most gardeners tend to have lower body masses. And so that's another thing that you want to keep in mind. Also, your mood, that Calgon, take me away, the serotonin that floods in. When you're gardening, guys, you know that when, at least I know, when you're gardening, you just get this calming effect over you. But also, it also has to do with giving you an opportunity to practice mindfulness, which is another de-stressor for your brain, which is also very helpful. When you take your mind off of all the other things that are happening in your life and you get focused, laser focused in on one thing, your mindfulness, and you can make connections better when you can focus. It's like it reboots your brain when you spend some time focusing on one thing at the exclusion of everything else. And so you're going to look at the flowers and the leaves and the stems and all those kind of things that you do as you touch, feel, and smell the produce that you have when you're gardening, okay? And the things that are in your garden, it actually helps and enhances your brain. Also, we got to talk about decreasing the stress and the anger and the tension and the anxiety, even fatigue. It also even perks you up when you garden, actually. And so those things are very beneficial beyond the nutritional aspect. Also strengthening your muscles, especially your fingers and your hands, your grip, that kind of thing. I had a lady, an older lady that had arthritis, and she would get up like at really early. I want to say like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't know. And she would walk into her garden and she would spend an hour or so gardening. Okay. And she said when she did that, her whole day, she was more mobile that day. She had less pain that day when she did that. It also strengthens your core, your back, your legs, so you're getting all those good benefits from doing some type of garden. Now, I know not everybody likes to be in the dirt. Not everybody likes to be around a bunch of insects. Not everybody likes to do all this squatting and bending and all this kind of stuff. Okay. I know that. So you have to do you. There is some benefit to those things though, but everyone does not like them. But, I remember my mom telling a story about my older sister. She told a story when my older sister was a little girl, toddler, whatever. She started eating dirt. And my mom took her to the doctor and she's like, when I take her outside, she starts eating dirt. Guess what the doctor told her? The doctor said, leave her alone, let her eat it. There's something in that dirt that her body is needing. Okay, that was like, 60 years ago, guys, 70 years ago, 60, 70 years ago. But anyway, that's what he told my mom. And because in the dirt, guys, there are microorganisms. What does our body operate on? Microorganisms. Okay, so there may have been something there. Minerals also. He's probably talking about the minerals that were in there and all those other kind of things. So there are things in there. The insects have a purpose also. There's things that they do, okay? But if that's just not you can't do but so much of that. We have other options, guys, because there is indoor gardening available. Yeehaw! Because I'm one of those people that don't like to spend a whole lot of time in dirt or squatting. So, except for when I'm doing my exercises. But anyway, there's a place of time for that. But anyway, indoor gardening. You can garden indoors and still get a lot of benefits because you're still dealing with plants. You're still doing all the things that you do with the plants and things. You just don't have the dirt and all of that kind of stuff. Okay, so that's something you might consider is indoor gardening. I personally use a system that's called the Tower Garden. It's actually an aeroponic indoor gardening system that doesn't have any dirt, and the plants grow from water and liquid food that you put into the water. Okay. I love it because there is no dirt, like I said. There is no weeding, which is why I gave up my traditional gardening, because it was just too much like work. But anyway, do you? Anyway, there's no weeding. Okay. No June bugs getting all in my hair and stuff. The June bugs attracted to, I guess, my conditioner or whatever. I don't know, but they bother me in the summer when I'm out there. But anyway, so no June bugs. And with a Tower Garden, it actually grows the produce faster, and they see like 30% faster, and it grows more produce than a traditional garden. Anyway, I love it, love it, love it. That is what I use, and I really love doing it. I have an indoor one, and I actually do have an outdoor one as well. But that's the system that I use, and that works for me. Now, actually, with that Tower Garden, there are different kinds of Tower Gardens too. You can make a herb Tower Garden where you have a majority of just herbs and spices. You can have a edible flower. I'm gonna do a thing, guys, with edible flowers for you. Edible flowers Tower Garden. You can have the traditional salad greens, Tower Garden to keep yourself, plentiful in that. You could even have a strawberry Tower Garden, and that's the one I'm starting this summer, or actually this spring, a few weeks, starting a strawberry Tower Garden. So I will keep you posted. But anyway, so you can have specialty Tower Gardens if you want, which is really wonderful, or you can just have a generic, regular kind, okay? And the other thing with gardening indoors is that you can do it year round. With those LED lights, you can do it year round, and the food is at your fingertips. What I'm trying to motivate you to do, March is here, is to do some type of gardening. There's some practical benefits to it as well. And in fact, I have a little handout in my research library that lists the practical benefits for traditional gardening and for aeroponic gardening and indoor and outdoor, those kind of things. So you can go to my research library on my website, keepyourbrainsharp.com, if you want to check that out. And I will also be available if you want to hear more about the Tower Garden. I will also be available with Tower Garden calls, one-on-one, free one-on-one call that you can gain access to. I'll leave the link for you. Schedule a time with me, and I'll answer any questions that you have about it, because I've had a Tower Garden now for about 10, 12 years. I don't know, but it's good, guys. But anyway, gardening, consider it seriously. Now's the time. Your brain's destiny is in your hands.